Hello, everybody, and welcome to Atheist Sunday School,
your one-stop shop for everything Atheist Sunday and School.
Wow, you took all the thunder out of Ruben.
And boy, do we have a show for you today.
Yeah, we do.
But before we get started with that show, Chris, spin the wheel.
Oh, you sure? I think we wait for other people, and to be fair, I just heard our audio somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not muted on this computer.
Either way.
It now is muted on this computer.
Good, I'm glad I pushed a button.
So, we, obviously, all patrons, $10 and over every month are entered into a t-shirt giveaway. So, this month, we're doing another one.
Yes.
Every month.
Wow.
I know, it's amazing, right?
You just blew my mind.
It's almost as if the arrow of time continues.
The arrow of time and its reversal is a article that came out.
Okay, great. So, let's get that wheel up there. Let's figure.
I refuse.
All right. Anyways, let's get that wheel up there. And Chris,
Yes.
why don't you spin that wheel? Oh, you did it! You spun the wheel, Ruben. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Ellis.
Yeah. And we're kind of waiting for it to.
It's Ellis.
It's Ellis? All right, fantastic. Ellis, if you are watching right now, you have won the t-shirt. And we also...
Should design a new t-shirt.
Yes, I was going to say, we also have to design a new t-shirt.
If you have an idea for a t-shirt
We know.
design...
Yeah, something maybe blame the Bible or something about the Chronicles
Was it
of
not
the Kings.
written?
Yeah, was it not written? Something like that. Since we just got the wheel out of the way, let's hop into just a couple of announcements.
Yes.
Obviously, I've been working on a video about the Egyptian afterlife and the journey to the Egyptian afterlife. It's very weird. There are like 20 different ancient Egyptian books on the afterlife and how to get there. It was very complicated by the end of the New Kingdom. I'm trying to do my best to condense it all. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. We also have everything we need for the demon summoning, so that will be coming out very shortly. We just got to do the Black Mirror, pretty much.
We need fog machine smoke.
That's right, fog machine smoke. I wrote that down. I was planning on getting that.
Fair enough.
And then we have the esoteric Nazism video.
Yep.
Have you been reading through Hammer of the Gods at all?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right.
I'm still caught up in fucking midterms right now.
Sure. Makes perfect sense. Did you find my notes helpful, or my underlining and squaring things off and starring the very important things?
Yeah, some of it.
Okay. I didn't know what would at the end of it would be important, so I just.
Yeah, that's the trouble, really. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't already know everything about this topic.
Yeah.
Shit.
Exactly. So let's hop right into the 100-point show.
Yes, the 100-point show.
Yeah, and for the 100-point show, because today is a wonderful day. It's going to be, after the show, we're actually going to be watching WrestleMania. Or I am, and these guys are going to be in the room. So, which WrestleMania is it?
WrestleMania 213.
35?
Well, Chris gets the 100 points.
What?
Yeah, it's WrestleMania
I
35.
did it.
Wow, really? How have there been more UFCs than WrestleManias?
Well, WrestleMania comes once a year.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like the flagship show. They're like, that's where stories culminate, stuff like that. It's like the big thing. It's what every event in the year has been leading up to.
So in 1984 was WrestleMania 1.
I think so.
If
Yeah,
it's
by math.
35.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know who was in that? Mr. T was there.
Wow. BA biceps.
Anyways, so what's your 100-point show question?
Oh, my 100-point show question. What's the opening of The Stranger by Camus.
What?
I don't
understand
know.
that.
Call me Ishmael.
No,
I know
the
that's something else.
opening is Today Mother Died, or maybe it was yesterday. I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great, and you don't even remember. Fantastic.
No, that's the line in the book.
Oh! Okay, so, anyways. So for today, we're going over the story of Hezekiah. He was very important. In fact, there's a very popular verse, or I should say chapter, in Isaiah. I think it's Isaiah 53.
Isaiah 53.
Yes, pull up Isaiah 53. Why are you going backwards?
Oh, yeah.
So in Isaiah 53, the way it's written, the fact that we know the Jesus story, it sounds like they're talking about Jesus. So it was taken as like prophecy, right? And the gospel writers would also kind of incorporate some of the chapter into their story. And the thing is, Isaiah 53 I think it's Isaiah 53.
Who hath believed our report, and whom is the arm of the Lord revealed?
And it goes on to say something about 3 days, then some other stuff that alludes to Jesus. I believe it's Isaiah 53. Someone in the chat, correct me if I'm
He
wrong.
was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquities.
Shit like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's actually, and I heard this from a Christian. I have to look into it more, but it's from Rob Rowe. He runs Sentinel Apologetics. Really smart guy. I respect him a lot. He actually does scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
So he told me, we were talking one day, and he told me it was initially about Hezekiah.
Mm.
So, and that makes sense through what we're reading, but obviously I'm going to have to look more into those things. But it's just very, very interesting there just to see how important Hezekiah was.
Well, speaking of Hezekiah, why don't we get into this reading? I have the
Yeah.
King James Version of the Bible.
I have the English Standard Version.
We also have the Holy Scriptures, according to some Jews.
Yep. And the New King James. We also have the Old Testament Survey from the New Interpreter's Bible.
We also have the Oxford Companion Bible and Unfolding the Deuteronomistic History.
Yes, that is what we have. So we have a lot of good stuff. And we also, or I should say, I also have See-Through Mountain Dew. The Mountain Dew you can see through.
Hold on,
Wow.
let's look at it from different perspectives.
Yes, the fantastic see-through Mountain Dew.
Get yours today.
Infomercials. We are not
Please
sponsored.
sponsor us.
Yeah, Mountain Dew, please sponsor us.
Yeah, please. We would love millions of dollars.
Or just a discount on Mountain Dew. We
You know,
would take
yeah, that'd
either
be cool.
one.
Yeah.
We'll take the discount on Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
My teeth could use more damage, yeah.
Like if we're allowed to purchase Mountain Dew at production cost,
Wow.
that would be great.
That would be great.
That's asking a lot.
It really isn't. Anyways, chapter 18. Now it came to pass in the 3rd year of Hoshea, or son of Elah, king of Israel, that Hezekiah, the son of Ahaz, king of Judah, began to reign. 25 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Abi, the daughter of Zechariah. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, according to all that David his father did. He removed the high places, and brake the images, and cut down the groves, Asherah,
Yep.
yeah, and brake in pieces the brazen serpent that Moses had made.
Yeah, remember Moses made a bronze serpent?
Yeah, he had a good time with it.
Oh,
No?
No? It was the episode Richard Carrier was on in studio. Yeah, he I forget there was a name for the serpent. But yeah, Moses just erected a bronze serpent.
When did this happen and why?
I think it was in Numbers, and I completely forget why it happened, but he did it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sure the chat can probably pull this up. It was in Numbers.
No, why did I do this?
What are you googling?
I just did the horrible Star Wars wipe transition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sure someone can find that. But yeah, he did erect a bronze serpent, and it kind of didn't really get brought up ever until just now.
See,
there was when it was created.
Well, that would explain why I have no recollection of this occurring, because it's never been referenced.
Yeah, it was just
it was
when they
just
made
two lines, guys. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So he broke this bronze serpent that Moses made. For unto those days, the children of Israel did burn incense to it, and he called it Nehushtan.
Yes, that's the name of the serpent.
Nehushtan.
Yeah.
And this is something that is being worshipped as an idol.
Yeah.
That's bad.
That is bad.
Apparently.
According to the people who are writing this.
He trusted in the Lord
Yeah,
God.
hold on. Yeah, it was Numbers 21.
Numbers 21, what exactly does it say about Nehushtan?
Let's see. I'm gonna.
It says 4 through 9.
From Mount Hor they set out by the way to the Red Sea to go around the land of Edom, and the people became impatient on the way, and the people spoke against God and against Moses. Why have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no food and no water, and we loathe this worthless food. Then the Lord sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, so that many people of Israel died. And the people came to Moses and said, "We have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord and against you. Pray to the Lord that he take away the serpents from us." So Moses prayed for the people. And the Lord said to Moses, "Make a fiery serpent and set it on a pole, and everyone who is bitten, when he sees it, shall live." So Moses made a bronze serpent and set it on a pole, and if a serpent bit anyone, he would look at the bronze serpent and live.
So, it magically cured snake bites.
Yeah,
Okay.
with magic. Good
Hold
old
on.
magic.
And
that's
this
God's thing,
Hezekiah,
though.
fuck,
Yeah, but
just killed all these people.
He did, but they were going up to an idol. You can't have that. Not at this point in time.
But they were perfectly fine with doing that since Moses, apparently.
Yeah.
Tradition. Okay. Trust the Lord God of Israel, so that after him was none like him among all the kings of Judah, nor any that were before him. For he clave to the Lord, and departed not from following him, but kept his commandments, which the Lord commanded Moses. And the Lord was with him, and he prospered whithersoever he went forth. And he rebelled against the king of Assyria, and served him not. He smote the Philistines, even unto Gaza, and the borders thereof, from the tower of the watchman to the fenced city. Which one was the specific fenced city?
Let's see. He struck down the Philistines as far as Gaza and its territory, from watchtower to fortified city. Well, I don't think it's a specific one.
It's just in Gaza.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the interesting thing is, I was reading through the so-called Deuteronomistic history from Thomas Romer, a book I very much recommend, and he points out that every Israelite king, this came up a lot about them doing what was. They either did what was good or bad in the sight of the Lord, but they were always said to have continued the sins of Jeroboam, whether or not they were good or bad.
Yeah.
Which was just very interesting.
Except for Hezekiah. Because there was no one like him.
Hezekiah is in Judah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But they also remark on things being right or wrong in the eyes of the Lord.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
But the specific syntax.
What exactly does that mean, though? Does that mean that they use the laws of Moses as the foundation of their rule while they were in office as king?
the way that we are, the way that it looks in the canon form, yes. Although that's probably not what the writers of these texts were thinking. They were probably thinking like, either, Israel or Judah prospered under this king.
Oh, okay. And it came to pass in the 4th year of King Hezekiah, which was the 7th year of Hoshea, son of Elah, king of Israel, that Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, came up against Samaria and besieged it. And at the end of 3 years they took it. Even in the 6th year of Hezekiah, that is the 9th year of Hoshea, king of Israel, Samaria was taken. And the king of Assyria did carry away Israel unto Assyria, and put them in Hala and in Habor by the river of Gozan, and in the cities of the Medes.
The Medes.
The Medes. Because they obeyed not the voice of the Lord their God, but transgressed his covenant, and all that Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded, and would not hear them nor do them. Now, in the 14th year of King Hezekiah, did Sennacherib, king of Assyria, come up against all the fenced cities of Judah. And Hezekiah, king of Judah, sent to the king of Assyria to Lachish, saying, I have offended. Return from me. That which thou puttest on me will I bear. And the king of Assyria appointed unto Hezekiah, king of Judah, 300 talents of silver and 30 talents of gold. It's not that much.
It's really not. But this he's effectively.
He's paying for his army for a week.
Effectively, he's making a deal.
And Hezekiah gave him all the silver that was found in the house of the Lord. Well, obviously, because it would.
It was made of gold.
Thank you, Rajano Gray.
Yes, thank you.
For that fulfilling and witty comment.
Amazing comment.
Yes.
That was a knee slapper, Ruben.
It might be my favorite comment anyone's ever put in there because of how witty it is.
And the $2 goes to the fund for our alchemy.
Yes, we will be transmuting lead into gold.
Yeah.
Maybe not lead. I
don't
really want to handle lead.
We're going to be trying to turn something into gold.
But
using the dark arts.
Now,
spooky.
Now Hezekiah, he's really like insulting this king of Assyria, right? In response for his gold and silver.
Well,
because he gives him the silver, which was in the house of the Lord, and as we know, when we covered the construction of it, it would be an insult for silver to be present there.
Yeah.
So this is insult silver.
That's a good point.
At that time did Hezekiah cut off the gold from the doors of the temple of the Lord. Weren't they like pure?
Everything was gold.
Yeah, everything was gold. So you destroyed the entire temple. Okay. And from the pillars which Hezekiah king of Judah had overlaid, and gave it to the king of Assyria. So they've been editing this temple.
Yeah, they've been
over time.
Well, yeah.
Yes. And the king of Assyria sent Tartan and Rabsaris and Rabshakeh from Lachish to King Hezekiah with a great host against Jerusalem. And they went up and came to Jerusalem. And when they were come up, they came and stood by the conduit of the upper pool, which is in the highway of the fuller's field.
I have the washer's field.
what are they talking about?
I don't know.
So this has to be some kind of colloquial reference
Yeah.
to a stretch of land between two cities.
Must be, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You know, that's the shitty part about the ancient literature is that they have these cultural references that it's like these did not survive through time.
Yeah, like we don't know. Like it's very difficult trying to figure out where exactly some of these places are.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are plenty of places in the Bible that we just don't know exactly where they are.
Or where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because we know where Eden is. It's that place.
It's in the U.S., right? According to the Mormons.
No, it's touching Ethiopia.
No, it was actually I actually looked into this. It was the river that went from Ethiopia to I think somewhere in the Negev. I think that's where it was supposed to be. It was in reference to a river.
So if we go there, we should see a cherubim with a flaming sword.
Yeah.
Okay, that can be another 666 goal.
Well, honestly, that'd probably be more, but
But see, he's just been chilling there the whole time.
Yeah, he's just been chilling, guarding.
he's just kind of waiting.
Rachel says she thought it was Mesopotamia.
It might be Mesopotamia. I'm not 100% sure, but it was in reference to a river.
Regina, great, thank you. But my mom's Bible has a map. That can't be wrong.
Yeah, Bible maps can't be wrong. Not even a little.
You know, I can't wait till we finish the Old Testament because there's this stuff about the period between the Old Testament and the New Testament and
The
this
intertestamental
Bible.
period.
Yeah.
Sounds hilarious.
It's actually pretty cool. I think it's one of the most interesting parts.
And
Of the
you're
biblical history.
probably the only person that I know personally who could point out exactly what's right and what's wrong in this between the Testaments section.
Sure,
in the
we'll
King
go.
James
We'll
version
definitely go
of the
through that.
Bible.
Yeah.
Anyways, where we are right now, Hezekiah is basically bitch slapping this guy with silver.
Well, the thing is, he's basically he's becoming a vassal.
A vassal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
He's a puppet king.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And when they had called to the king, there came to them Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, which was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and Joah the son of Asaph the recorder. And Rabshakeh said to them, Speak ye now to Hezekiah. Thus saith the great king, the king of Assyria, what confidence is this wherein thou trustest? Thou sayest, but they are but vain words, I have counsel and strength for the war. Now on whom dost thou trust that thou rebelled against me? Now, behold!
Behold!
Behold.
Thou trustest upon the staff of this bruised reed, even upon Egypt, on which if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, unto all that trust on him.
Yeah. So here was actually a very interesting point in history, because Assyria pretty much took over a good portion of the ancient Near East for like a pretty long time.
Yeah.
Like I think about 100 or so years, a little more, I think. But obviously, they couldn't. If I recall correctly, they couldn't take over Egypt. Egypt was still, the stronghold Egypt has always been, or had always been, I should say.
Yes.
I'm not 100% sure. This would have been in the New Kingdom. I'm not 100% sure which pharaoh they're specifically referring to. I would have to look into that.
Okay.
Okay.
So, but if ye say unto me, we trust in the Lord our God, is not that he whose high places and whose altars Hezekiah hath taken away, and hath said to Judah and Jerusalem, Ye shall worship before this altar in Jerusalem? Now, therefore, I pray thee, give pledges to my lord the king of Assyria, and I will deliver thee 2,000 horses, if thou be able on thy part to set riders upon them. So this is something that's come up a few times, and I guess it's a reference to Hezekiah whenever it happens before, but where they would say, now, at that time, people still worshipped in the high places, right? So that's all set up for Hezekiah, right?
I mean, that's obviously, this would have been. The thing is, since this concludes with Josiah, it was some of this was written in the reign of Josiah, part of it was written during the exile, and another part when they came back from the exile.
And was it not written in the book?
Was it not written in the books of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah?
Yeah, come on. That's not even what we're reading, but was it not?
Was it not though?
We should make a comedic short, Josiah and the Pussycats.
Josiah and the Pussy. Why do we do that?
What?
Ever see Josie and the Pussycats?
I've never seen that.
What?
No, I've never seen it.
You've never seen Josie and the Pussycats?
No. I know who the Pussycat Dolls are.
No, completely unrelated.
Okay, then I have no idea.
It's an old cartoon.
Oh, okay.
Very old.
It's one of those Hanna-Barbera things that we all wish kind of wasn't.
Okay, let's continue with the reading.
Yeah. Now, therefore, I pray thee, I will give pledges to my lord the king of Assyria, and will deliver thee 2,000 horses, if thou be able in thy part to set riders upon them. How then wilt thou turn away the face of one captain of the least of my master's servants, and put thy trust on Egypt for chariots and for horsemen? Am I now come up with the Lord against this place to destroy it? The Lord said to me, go up against this land and destroy it. Then said Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, and Shebna, and Joah, unto Rabshakeh, speak, I pray thee, to thy servants in the Syrian language, for we understand it, and talk not with us in the Jews' language on the ears of the people that are on the wall.
So hold on.
Jews.
I just want to point out.
Okay.
That. Please speak to your servants. You said in what language did you say?
In the Syrian language.
I have in Aramaic.
Oh. It's probably the language that they spoke in Syria.
Because I'm not a linguist, and I don't know ancient Hebrew.
Oh, you should.
I know. I'm gonna learn it. Okay, it's on the list it's on my to-do list. So the thing is with Aramaic, to my knowledge, Aramaic is a form of Hebrew.
As far as I can tell, there was a language in the region before Hebrew.
Probably. Yeah.
And Hebrew is one offshoot of that language.
Yeah, then
and
you have the Semitic
Aramaic
languages.
is an offshoot either of Hebrew or of the root language that Hebrew comes from.
See, I have absolutely no clue. You know who
I-
probably know a good amount about this, though?
Chris won.
Yeah, Chris won.
Yeah. The real Chris.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
So he's basically like, you shouldn't do your military deals with Egypt to the king
Pretty
of
much,
Syria. Okay. Now, this reference to the Jews' language, we've only had one reference to the Jews before this.
Well, yours says the Jews. I have do not speak to us in the language of Judah.
Oh. So.
Now, later, those would obviously be the same thing.
Right.
But,
fucking King James. But Rabshakeh said unto them, Hath my master sent me to thy master and to thee to speak these words? Hath he not sent me to the men which sit on the wall, that they may eat their own dung and drink their own piss with you?
I have urine, not piss, but piss is pretty good.
Is this like an old version of shooting the shit? Eating your own dung and drinking your own piss?
I don't think so.
Then
I don't know if it's metaphorical.
I think it is metaphorical.
it's clearly metaphorical, but it's not shooting the shit.
No.
It's like, you're full of shit, man.
Something like that, yeah. I'm guessing.
Yeah. Then Rabshakeh stood and cried with a loud voice in the Jews' language, and spoke, saying, Hear the word of the great king, the king of Assyria.
I don't think that's the Jews' language there, Reuben.
Oh, L'chaim.
You got it.
Thus saith the king, Let not Hezekiah deceive you, for he shall not be able to deliver you out of his hand. Neither let Hezekiah make you trust in the Lord, saying, The Lord will surely deliver us.
Oh my God.
And this city will not be delivered in the hand of the king of Assyria. Hearken not to Hezekiah. For thus saith the king of Assyria, Make an agreement with me by a present, and come out to me, and then eat ye every man of his own vine, and every one of his fig tree, and drink every one the waters of his cistern, until I come and take you away to a land like your own land, a land of corn and wine, a land of bread and vineyards, a land of oil, olive, and of honey, that ye may live and not die.
But no milk?
No milk.
Or honey. Wait, did they say honey?
Yeah,
they
they
say honey. No milk?
Wow.
Come on, that's been the whole thing.
They're talking about bread, vineyards, olive oil, and honey. But it's a land like your own land.
Okay. Wordplay. Subtle.
So yeah, they don't have milk. It's
Nope.
not exactly the same.
Yeah. And hearken not unto Hezekiah, when he persuadeth you, saying, The Lord will deliver us. Hath any of the gods of the nations delivered at all his land out of the hand of the king of Assyria? Where are the gods of Hamath and of Arpad?
Okay, so they're basically, saying, we took you over we've been great at this whole shtick for a while.
Who are the gods of Hamath and Arpad, Lawrence?
I have absolutely no idea. I've never heard those. But Rajano Gray, thank you again for another $2.
Thank you, Rajano Gray. Where are the gods of Sepharvaim, Henna, and Eva?
Sepharvaim, we covered that last week, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Have they delivered Samaria out of mine hand? Who are they among all the gods of the countries that have delivered their country out of mine hand, that the Lord should deliver Jerusalem out of mine hand? But the people held their peace, and answered him not a word. For the king's commandment was, saying, Answer him not.
Amazing.
Then came Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, which was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and Joah the son of Asaph the recorder, to Hezekiah with their clothes rent, and told him the words of Rabshakeh.
So that is the end of chapter 18. What's interesting here, and I'm just pointing this out for later, is how Hilkiah is doing things. Hilkiah is we're going to get into him later. Actually, he is the priest that discovers the book of the law in the renovations of the temple during the reign of Josiah. So it's very interesting how he's playing this role here.
Yeah, so Rabshakeh is giving like this speech that the king of Assyria told him to
It's
give.
like, we are so much better than you.
Well, it's actually a good argument, though. Like,
Yeah, like we're always better than you. What makes you think that this one city here is gonna be?
I mean, it's not just that they're better than them. It's a good atheistic argument, right? Like, your gods are irrelevant. They didn't stop. None of the other gods stopped the Assyrians from curb stomping them and taking all of their belongings. And it's just plain foolish to believe that your God will stop the Assyrians from curb stomping you and taking all of your belongings.
Yeah.
Like,
Because the whole thing was like, if a nation was successful, that means the god was stronger.
yeah.
That was everywhere. It was in Egypt. It was in the Near East. It was.
See, but he doesn't say our gods are greater than your gods. He's like, I'm a fucking king and I guess a warlord, right? So, like, I don't give a shit about your gods.
All right. Well, since that was the end of chapter 18, if you guys are enjoying the show, drop a like, subscribe if you haven't for some reason.
And
Share the stream around. It really, really does help us out. We would like to get more people in here.
Yeah. More people means more experiments to turn lead into gold, basically.
I guess, yeah. So, let's hop right into chapter 19.
Chapter 19.
As soon as King Hezekiah heard it, he tore his clothes and covered himself with sackcloth and went into the house of the Lord. And he sent Eliakim, who was over the household, and Shebna, the secretary, and the senior priests, covered with sackcloth, to the prophet Isaiah. Ooh, good old Isaiah, the son of Amos.
Wow, why are we talking about Isaiah? Fuck that guy.
They said to him, "Thus says Hezekiah, this day is the day of distress, of rebuke, and of disgrace."
Mine says trouble of rebuke and blasphemy.
Ooh, blasphemy, my favorite. Children have come to the point of birth, and there is no strength to bring them forth. It may be that the Lord your God heard all the words of the Rabshakeh. Okay, so Rabshakeh was a title.
Mine says the words of Rabshakeh. Not the
Of
Rabshakeh.
Rabshakeh. And actually, Jonah pointed out in the chat, it means a chief of princes.
Oh, so he's the military leader. Grand Admiral Thrawn, basically.
Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Whom his master, the king of Assyria, has sent to mock the living God, and will rebuke the words that the Lord your God has heard. Therefore lift up your prayer for the remnant that is left. When the servants of King Hezekiah came to Isaiah, Isaiah said to them, "Say to your master, thus says the Lord, do not be afraid because of the words that you have heard, with which the servants of the king of Assyria have reviled me. Behold! I will put a spirit in him, so that he shall hear a rumor and return to his own land, and I will make him fall by the sword in his own land."
Ooh.
So he's gonna mind control him? Kind
Well,
of?
mine says, I will send a blast upon him,
That's
and
very
he shall
different.
hear a rumor, and shall return to his own land, and I will cause him to fall by the sword in his own land.
Yeah, it sounds like... Yeah, I have... they're gonna put a spirit in him.
I think
Sounds like mind control to me.
what he's
Whatever.
doing isn't like mind control.
But he's
I
like
think
sending
it's literally
some psychic signal.
no, not a psychic symbol. It's like when you slander someone's name all over town and then they kill themselves.
Oh, okay. Well, let's find out what happens.
Yeah, I guess.
The Rabshakeh returned and found the king of Assyria fighting against Libnah, for he heard that the king had left Lachish. Now the king heard concerning Tiraka, king of Cush, Behold!
Behold!
Behold.
He has set out to fight against you. So he sent messengers again to Hezekiah, saying, Thus shall you speak to Hezekiah, king of Judah. Do not let your God, in whom you trust, deceive you by promising that Jerusalem will not be given into the hand of the king of Assyria. Behold!
Behold!
Behold.
You have heard what the kings of Assyria have done to all the lands, devoting them to destruction. And shall you be delivered? Have the gods of the nations delivered them, the nations that my fathers destroyed, Gozan, Haran, Rezeph, and the people of Eden who were in Talasar?
Whoa, what the fuck? He took Eden?
Yeah, he took Eden.
That's
Where is the
OP.
king of Hamath, the king of Arpad, the king of the city of Sepharvaim, the king of Henna, or the king of Ivah? So, yeah, again with this this kind of narrative about I have taken so much.
it's a good threat.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I was gonna point something out, but I totally forgot what it was. Fuck it. Hezekiah received the letter from the hand of the messengers and read it. And Hezekiah went up to the house of the Lord and spread it before the Lord. And Hezekiah prayed before the Lord and said, O Lord, the God of Israel, enthroned above the cherubim. Obviously in reference to the ark.
The Ark of the Covenant, where the throne is literally
Yeah.
above the cherubim.
Yeah. You are the God, you alone, of all the kingdoms of the earth. You have made heaven and earth. Incline your ear, O Lord, and hear. Open your eyes, O Lord, and see, and hear the words of Sennacherib, which he has sent to mock the living God.
It's like that scene in Hercules where the Zeus statue comes to life.
It's a lot like that, yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Truly, O Lord, the kings of Assyria have laid waste the nations and their lands, and have cast their gods into the fire. For they were not gods, but the work of men's hands, wood and stone. Therefore, they were destroyed. You know, he probably would have appreciated that from what we have just learned.
Mhm.
God apparently would have appreciated that.
Well, moreover, is he saying that Yahweh is a god because their statue of Yahweh is made of metal?
No?
What?
Well, actually, wood and stone, that's funny. So, I don't think so. I'm going to be honest here, I don't think
Iron. God's only weakness.
so. I don't think that was the point. Or maybe I have no idea. That's very interesting, though.
Huh.
Therefore they were destroyed. So now, O Lord, our God, save us, please, from his hand, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that you, O Lord, are God alone. Then Isaiah the son of Amos sent to Hezekiah, saying, Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel. Not of Judah. Fuck that. Not of Judah, of Israel.
Yeah.
Even though Hezekiah is king of Judah, I guess maybe this is just referring to Israel as a whole, the people of Israel.
Which is so vague.
Well, and it gets kind of complicated, honestly. Because
Yeah.
you don't know if they're referring to the north or the whole thing. Now says the Lord, the God of Israel, this is probably referring to the whole thing, honestly.
Mhm.
Your prayer to me about Sennacherib, king of Assyria, I have heard. This is Isaiah saying this. This is the word that the Lord has spoken concerning him. She despises you, she scorns you, the virgin daughter of Zion. She wags her head behind you, the daughter of Jerusalem. Whom have you mocked and reviled? Against whom have you raised your voice and lifted your eyes to the heights? Against the Holy One of Israel. By your messengers you have mocked the Lord, and you have said, with my many chariots I have gone up the heights of the mountains, to the far recesses of Lebanon. I felled its tallest cedars, its choicest cypresses. I entered its farthest lodging place, its most fruitful forest. I dug wells and drank foreign waters, and I dried up I dried up with the sole of my foot all the streams of Egypt.
Does yours talk about cutting down the cedar trees?
Yes.
And the choice fir trees?
I have cypresses, but...
Cypresses.
Yeah.
So cypresses are just choice fir trees.
Apparently. Have you not heard that I determined it long ago? I planned from days of old what now I bring to pass, that you should turn fortified cities into heaps of ruins, while their inhabitants, shorn of strength, are dismayed and confounded, and have become like plants in the fields and like tender grass, like grass on the housetops, blighted before it is grown. But what?
There's the grass of the field, and as the green herb.
As the green herb.
As
I
the
wonder what
green
that
herb.
means.
Yeah, it could be anything.
Yeah.
Thanks, King
Maybe
James.
it's one of those seed-bearing herbs that are given into the domain of mankind for them to do with as they please.
Oh, yeah.
In accordance with biblical law.
But I know you're sitting down and you're going out and coming in and you're raging against me because you have raged against me and your complacency has come into my ears. I will put my hook in your nose and
Whoa.
my bit in your mouth, and I will turn you back on the way by which you came. That last part was more confusing than anything. I think the virgin daughter of Zion and the daughter of Jerusalem are also complicated. I'm actually going to look in here and unfold in the Deuteronomistic history because this is weird. I'm not even 100% sure what just happened or what these were in reference to.
I will
So
put my hook in thy nose and my bridle in thy lips.
bridal. Okay.
This is confusing and probably sexual.
I don't think it is. So let's check out what unfolding the Deuteronomistic history has to say. Oh, it says a lot actually. Holy
wow,
shit!
it's useful for once.
Yeah. Well, this one's been decently there. It's been kind of useful.
Kind of.
Yeah. So this section. So verse 20, by the way, before this whole prayer, according to these guys, they believe that was, let's see, single sideline, was from an earlier tradition. That's what they believe, but it's not. The point is it's not part of the original sequence here. Let's see, what's the double sign line? This is a lot. It says other. Great, other. Thanks. Okay. What's the note? There's got to be a note, right? There has to be. This is just too much not to have a note. Okay. Verses 29. What the hell? This is so weird. Okay. Verses 29 to 31 are distinguished from. Oh, we haven't even gotten to those yet. What is going on? They have this whole section. Look at this. Okay. So they have this entire section. There's a lot going on this page. This section with the prayer is clearly standing out against everything else. And it doesn't actually have a note about this. And that's just weird to me.
Yeah.
I feel like you should have a note on this. All right, fuck it.
Well,
Fuck you.
so obviously it's a prayer,
Yes.
which is just to say
Have a good time.
a statement,
Well, actually, it's not a prayer. It's a prophecy.
a prophecy.
Yeah. And it's the God is talking through Isaiah, and Isaiah saying that this guy is an asshole. I'm stronger.
It's a response to the previous thing. So the king of Assyria was like, "Hey, your God ain't shit, and look at all these kings that I beat."
pretty much.
And then Yahweh responds directly to him,
Yeah.
basically.
But it's not really directly to him.
It's a message to convey
Yeah,
to him. And it's like, verse 25. Hast thou not heard long ago how I have done it,
Yeah.
and of ancient times that I have formed it?
Yeah.
Basically, like, dude, you can't do shit. Don't you know who I am?
Yeah, pretty much.
That I
Like,
am?
did you not hear about me? I'm the big dog.
You were dealing with Egypt, right?
And this shall be the sign for you. This year eat what grows of itself, and in the second year what springs of the same. That in the third year sow and reap and plant vineyards and eat their fruit. And the surviving remnant of the house of Judah shall again take root downward and bear fruit upward. So this being written after they presumably stopped this attack, because it's just Jerusalem that they're going to be saving. But presumably written after this attack, they're like, things are going to be great for some amount of years.
Mm-hmm. But they're not going to be organized during that time?
Well,
I mean, at least not organized to do traditional agriculture, because they're not, tending to fields. They're just eating what grows of its own accord.
Maybe. For out of Jerusalem shall go a remnant, and out of Mount Zion a band of survivors. The zeal of the Lord will do this. So we're gonna have another faction pop up.
Oh shit!
Yeah, exciting.
It's like The Walking Dead.
Therefore, thus says the Lord concerning the king of Assyria: He shall not come into this city, or shoot an arrow there, or come before it with a shield, or cast up a siege mounted against it. By the way that he came, by the same he shall return, and he shall not come into this city, declares the Lord. For I will defend this city to save it, for my own sake and for the sake of my servant David. What I find interesting is the fact that God has no problem destroying all other enemies. But then Assyria comes along, and it's like, okay, so first of all, God's going to let you destroy the rest of the place. But Jerusalem, no. Me, God, I shall defend it. I'm not going to actually do anything. I'm just going to defend this place. Probably the most moral thing he's done in a while.
Yeah, I mean, if this were the same God that we see in Samuel and in
Judges,
and
Joshua, all of them.
Joshua and the entire Torah, this wouldn't be an issue of defending Jerusalem.
Yeah.
You would march like 20 men down to that city of thousands, and then they would be like, well, we took 20 men in and we had no casualties, and now all of their men, women, children, and animals are dead.
Yeah.
Like,
That's how it would have went down.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe God's
Getting old.
yeah, he's getting old, becoming a big old softy.
Yeah.
And that night the angel of the Lord went out and struck down 185,000 in the camp of Assyrians.
Oh, damn.
And when people arose early in the morning, behold!
Oh.
These were all dead bodies.
Wait. Are they? Does this say, in biblical parlance, when they woke up, they were dead?
Yes. Of course, referring to somebody else. The people didn't wake up dead.
But
people,
mine says, when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses.
No, these were all dead corpses.
Mine says they were all
that's
dead
hilarious.
corpses.
Thanks, King James.
Then Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed and went home and lived at Nineveh. And as he was worshiping in the house of Nisroch, his god, Adramelech and Sharezer, his son, struck him down with the sword and escaped into the land of Ararat. And Esarhaddon, his son, reigned in his place.
And this is a reference to the I will cause him to fall by the sword in his own land.
Yeah. And Esarhaddon. Okay, hold on. So his sons, two of his sons, killed him But then a different son becomes king.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that is the end of chapter 19. I'm going to go grab Romer's book real quick because I'm very interested to hear what he has to say about this prophecy.
All right, grab me a water while you're...
A water?
Yeah. Not a see-through Mountain Dew.
Not a see-through... Oh, my God. Okay. So anyways, that is the end of chapter 19. If you guys are enjoying the stream, please drop a like, subscribe if you haven't. It really does help us out.
Wait, do you hear that?
I do, actually.
What?
I do hear that.
What?
This is the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
It doesn't sound like...
Behold, I am your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and I want to let all you heathens and sinners know that I support this wonderful episode of Atheist Sunday School. Lawrence and Reuben try their very best to bring you the true glory of the Bible, and they need your help. They have provided links to their Patreon page and other social media just for you. Once again, my name is Jesus Christ, and this is Milwaukee Atheists. The Lord is with them. God bless.
Wow, isn't that amazing? Isn't it incredible that I can be a disembodied voice?
That is amazing. Well, thanks, Jesus. We always get the good props from Jesus, our homeboy, right? All right.
Sure.
All right. So what was that? 2 Kings 19.
Yes.
Great, fantastic. And this section is it after 20? Okay, interesting. He doesn't actually say much about it. He says some stuff about the stuff that comes afterwards. Let's see, 154. Okay, but since that is the end of chapter 19, let's hop right into the next chapter, chapter 20.
Let's do that. Chapter 20. In those days was Hezekiah sick unto death. And the prophet Isaiah, the son of Amoz, came to him and said unto him, Thus saith the Lord, set thine house in order, for thou shalt die and not live. Then he turned his face to the wall and prayed unto the Lord, saying, I beseech thee, O Lord, remember now how I have walked before thee in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. And Hezekiah wept sore. And it came to pass, afore Isaiah was gone out into the middle court, not before, afore. It says afore, not before.
Oh.
That the word of the Lord came to him, saying, Turn again and tell Hezekiah, the captain of my people, Thus saith the Lord, the God of David thy father, I have heard thy prayer. I have seen thy tears. Behold,
Behold!
I will heal thee. On the third day thou shalt go up unto the house of the Lord.
So before we get into the healing, the good old healing process.
Faith healing, which we should all know and love and trust.
Yeah, absolutely. We should. In fact, they should be in hospitals. So I have pulled up something from Romer. What?
How many hospitals have you been in that don't have hospital chapels?
Okay, how many faith healers are the doctors?
I would say probably about a third of them.
No, probably not. That would be dangerous.
7,000 cc's of faith healing
When
stat.
a doctor's like, take this placebo and you'll
pray.
feel better.
No,
Yeah,
that's very different. That is very different.
It's not, well, taking a placebo.
Well, actually, if it is a
essentially-
placebo, it is the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing as praying.
I
So they're
guess.
faith healers.
I wouldn't.
Anyone who has ever
Maybe in
prescribed a
process-
placebo is a faith healer.
I see what you're getting at, but I still I wouldn't call it a faith healer exactly. But anyways, I pulled up something here from Romer.
Okay.
2 Kings 18 through 20 contains very different stories which can hardly be attributed to one author. 2 Kings 18:13 to 19:7 and 35:13 through 37, relate the siege of Jerusalem, which the Assyrians suddenly give up. Here, Isaiah intervenes in a typical Deuteronomistic way, proclaiming a divine oracle. Yahweh will force the Assyrian king to return unsuccessfully to his land. This oracle is immediately fulfilled. The second story about the siege in 19:8 to 34 is a doublet of the first one. Its ideology and language fit better the book of Isaiah, especially its second part, which contains monotheistic statements and polemics against the gods of the nations.
Ugh, monotheistic statements.
Yeah, and then the story about Isaiah as a healer and the sign Hezekiah asks for fits also better into the context of Isaiah, where it counters the refusal of a sign by Ahaz in Isaiah 7:10 through 12. These stories were therefore composed as a transition between the first and the second part of Isaiah. They were probably introduced into the books of Kings at a later stage, when the Deuteronomistic history was dissolved and the books of Joshua to Kings became the first part of the prophets. Through the insertion of those Isaiah stories at the end of Kings, the redactors underline the close relation between the former prophets, whose last book is Kings, and the later prophets, whose first book is Isaiah. It is quite possible that most of the other prophetic stories were also inserted at this stage in order to strengthen the prophetic character of Kings.
Wow.
This book is actually very helpful, by the way.
It's way more helpful than unfolding the Deuteronomistic history was.
Also, yes. Romer is also a very good author, by the way. He writes, the way he writes, it's about detailed, nuanced topics, but the way in which he writes them, anyone can understand them.
Yes.
All right, so let's get into the healing.
Which is how all writing should be.
I agree, yeah.
Turn again. Yes, I will heal thee. On the third day thou shalt go up unto the house of the Lord, and I will add unto thy days 15 years, and I will deliver thee and this city out of the hand of the king of Assyria, and I will defend this city for mine own sake, and for my servant David's sake. And Isaiah said, take a lump of figs. And they took it and laid it on the boil, and he recovered. And Hezekiah said unto Isaiah, what shall be the sign that the Lord will heal me, and that I shall go up into the house of the Lord the third day? And Isaiah said, this sign shalt thou have of the Lord, that the Lord will do the thing that he hath spoken. Shall the shadow go forward 10 degrees, or go back 10 degrees?
I have 10 steps, not 10 degrees.
And Hezekiah answered, it is a light thing for the shadow to go down 10 degrees. Nay, but let the shadow return backward 10 degrees. And Isaiah the prophet cried unto the Lord, and brought the shadow down 10 degrees backward, by which it had gone down in the dial of Ahaz.
See, the dial of Ahaz.
I think they're talking about a sundial and degrees of the shadow on the sundial. I think what they're saying here is he'll know that it happened because the sundial will look different than it should.
So time has passed.
Not just that time has passed, but that the literal position of the sun will have changed such that...
So time has passed.
No, I mean, generally, the literal position of the sun will have changed.
Hold on, is time passing?
Such that this sundial at noon tomorrow, when this thing is happening...
When it's supposed to be noon,
it will be something else.
Okay.
Generally, it will be 10 degrees different.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Earth's orbit is unstable. Warn everyone.
No, there's something wrong with the flat Earth and the fucking what's it fucking called?
The hole in the sky.
The firmament.
The firmament.
Yeah,
yes.
there's something wrong with the firmament. We gotta fix that. That is a problem.
Ooh. And Isaiah the prophet cried unto the Lord, and he brought the shadow 10 degrees backward by which it had gone down in the dial of Ahaz.
Yes.
At that time, Berodachbaladan, the son of Baladan, king of Babylon, sent letters and a present unto Hezekiah, for he had heard that Hezekiah had been sick. Oh, that's nice.
That's nice. What a nice guy.
Yeah. And Hezekiah hearkened unto them and showed them all the house of his precious things, the silver and the gold and the spices and the precious ointment and all the house of his armor and all that was found in his treasures. There was nothing in his house, nor in all the dominion that Hezekiah showed them not.
Wow.
That's a terrible idea.
He showed them everything.
Okay, you got a king of another nation.
Yeah, and you're like, look, I have all of these amazing things.
Let me show you literally everything that's in my country.
Yeah.
This is a good idea.
This is a shrub.
I can trust
That's
you.
a cat.
A king of
These
other
are
nations.
stones.
Yeah. Because
Everything.
kings of nations have always been able to trust each other. Always.
As is tradition.
Then,
This is where it started.
Then came Isaiah the prophet unto King Hezekiah, and said unto him, What said these men? And from whence came they unto thee? And Hezekiah said, They are come from a far country, even from Babylon. And he said, What have they seen in thine house? And Hezekiah answered, All the things that are in mine house have they seen. There is nothing among my treasures that I have not showed them. And Isaiah said unto Hezekiah, Hear the word of the Lord. Behold,
Behold.
the day is come that all that is in thine house and that which thy fathers have laid up in store unto this day shall be carried into Babylon. Nothing shall be left, saith the Lord. And of thy sons that shall issue from thee, which thou shalt beget, shall they take away. And they shall be eunuchs in the palace of the king of Babylon.
And I think we talked, when we were going over the laws, weren't the eunuchs not allowed? Weren't eunuchs not allowed to be, like...
Yeah, there were specific stipulations for eunuchs.
Yeah.
So, cut their balls off, and then they have to follow specific rules. Because they're not clean anymore.
Yeah.
Nothing shall be loved.
19, you're at 19.
Yeah, I'm at 19. And said Hezekiah unto Isaiah, Good is the word of the Lord which thou hast spoken. And he said, Is it not good if peace and truth be in my days? And the rest...
I have something else. Why not, if there will be peace and security in my days?
Ooh. And the rest of the acts of Hezekiah.
It just ends there.
And
There's
all
no...
his might. And how he made a pool and a conduit and brought water into the city. Oh, he was responsible for irrigation. Good job, Hezekiah. Are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah?
No.
And Hezekiah slept with his fathers, and Manasseh, his son, reigned in his stead.
Manasseh?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is gonna be awful.
I know.
We have learned so much about the half breeds, the half tribe of Manasseh.
Oh, yeah, disgusting half tribe.
This is gonna be terrible.
Actually, we haven't heard much about them for a while.
It's been a while, but obviously.
But this is someone named after Manasseh. Obviously.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's gonna be terrible though.
It's not literally the guy.
No,
the
but
tribe was named
but
after.
it's Manasseh anyways.
Different Manasseh.
Awful. This is gonna be terrible.
Like, at least there's not multiple Manassehs at the same time. Like
I guess,
that
yeah,
other
like
guy.
the other dude, yeah.
But this Manasseh is going to get possessed by Manasseh.
Okay.
Because, Elijah got possessed by Elisha.
In a way, yeah.
We're gonna get Manasseh, whose deeds are written in the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel. And then a different Manasseh,
Yes.
and then a different Manasseh on top of that.
Awful. So that was the end of chapter 20. If you are enjoying the stream, please drop a like. It really helps us out, honestly.
Check out
it's
our...
Really, shut up. It's really good for the YouTube algorithm.
Yeah, it's good for the YouTube algorithm. Check out our Amazon wish list, too.
Oh, yeah.
Has that been shilled in the Nightbot?
It has been. It's been a while since we talked. We'll talk about it at the end of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, let's hop right into chapter 21.
Yep.
Manasseh was 12 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 55 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Hephzibah, and he did what was evil in the sight of the Lord, according to the despicable practices of the nations whom the Lord drove out before the people of Israel. For he rebuilt the high places that Hezekiah his father had destroyed, and he erected altars for Baal and made an Asherah, as Ahab, king of Israel, had done, and worshipped all the host of heaven and served them. So, by the way, this is in fact an acknowledgement that other gods exist.
Yes. All the host of heaven.
Yeah. And he built altars in the house of the Lord, of which the Lord had said, in Jerusalem will I put my name.
So Elijah and Enoch ascended.
Yeah.
Which makes them part of the host of heaven.
Yes. Oh, and also Samuel became a ghost, but the word used was Elohim.
So he's also one of the host of heaven.
Yeah, because there was a lot of ancestor veneration and stuff like that.
So these people are gods, and therefore, when you say worshipped all the host of heaven and served
could be their ancestors.
So
included,
they're engaging in ancestor worship, which isn't
partly,
uncommon.
Yeah, partly in that. Yeah.
Yeah. Which isn't uncommon. I mean, like in China, there's a long history of ancestor worship.
Sure, yeah. And he built altars for all the host of heaven in the two courts of the house of the Lord. And he burned his son as an offering and used fortune-telling and omens and dealt with mediums and with necromancers. Okay, so...
He fucked up.
Let's talk about all of that.
And he made his son pass through the fire and observed times, predictions, in the, oh man, and used enchantments and dealt with familiar spirits and wizards.
Oh my god. This is great.
This is far-fetched as hell.
So, obviously, this kind of reminds me of something. I forget the story.
Yeah.
But I remember someone who went to a fortune teller and someone else that went to a fortune teller and burned his sons. Or am I mixing up stories? I might be just mixing up stories because we have had instances of child sacrifice.
The concept of child sacrifice and the concept of fortune telling
have
been mentioned together before, at the very least.
Okay, and I know that there were obviously there was stuff against that.
Yeah.
But I could swear there was someone that did both of those in a very
Chat, if you remember.
If you guys remember, maybe I'm misremembering. That's very possible.
But, we can't even trust the chat because now they would have that positive bias because you suggested it.
Well, no, not necessarily.
I'm sure
okay, we have some pretty smart viewers.
We have smart viewers, but that doesn't mean they're not subject to suggestion.
Sure, but I think that they're smart enough to check things on their own.
Yeah.
Okay. Vote now if you're smart enough.
Viewers, read all of the Bible up until this point and then affirm whether or not this did happen.
Just Google it or something. Okay, let's continue. He did much evil in the sight of the Lord, provoking him to anger. I told you this was going to be terrible. I told you. Manasseh was going to be a bad guy, always. Can't have a name like Manasseh and be a good guy. That should be a fucking sin.
Fucking wizards, man.
He did much evil in the sight of the Lord, provoking him to anger, and the carved image of Asherah that he had made, he set in the house of which the Lord said to David and to Solomon his son, in this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, I will put my name forever.
That isn't what happened. Solomon said, I want to make a house for you.
Yeah, but then I think he also said that he's going to put his name there forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he specifically say forever? Well, then it's
so, yeah.
factually incorrect anyway, because...
Well, of course it's factually incorrect.
And it's factually incorrect to this day.
Yeah, but I thought that Solomon was like, hey, I want to make a house, and then God was just like, okay, I guess. Right? Like, that was what happened as far as I
Yeah,
can...
but then he did put his name there.
Okay.
Anyways.
Doesn't that mean that it's carved into the gold in the wall or something?
Well, it was a pole, the Asherah poles.
Yeah.
They were specific trees.
But this is before the Asherah poles were there.
He put them back up.
Well,
They were destroyed,
They were destroyed.
and then he put new
then
ones
they
up.
made the temple, and then this guy made.
No, the temple was
new-
already there. The temple was still
The temple
there.
wasn't just magically there from the beginning of time.
No, they made the temple,
Yes.
and then they took all the gold and the silver, and the Assyrians did.
Yeah.
And they destroyed the high places.
Yeah.
And then Hezekiah destroyed the high places.
So Hezekiah got rid of all this.
Stuff, yes, and then Manasseh comes along and actually puts some of this stuff in the temple of the Lord.
Yeah.
And I will not cause the feet of Israel to wander any more out of the land that I gave to their fathers. Now, first of all, in the narrative, this is going to be very wrong very, very soon.
Okay.
Okay? So let's put a pin in this. That's going to be very wrong very shortly, and probably next week we're going to go over that. Where was I? If only they will be careful to do according to all that I have commanded them, and according to all the law that my servant Moses commanded them. So actually, I'm
Later edition.
that second part. I think so.
Yeah.
At least that's what was that has been argued for a long time. That's my thought. We can check to see what our books say.
Well, it would
about it.
probably take us longer than we could do in this sitting.
Yeah.
Right.
But they did not listen, and Manasseh led them astray to do more evil than the nations had done, whom the Lord destroyed before the people of Israel. Wait, was that
But they hearkened not, and Manasseh seduced them to do more evil than did the nations of the Lord.
Okay. I think I got this wrong when I was reading through this, because this was a quotation of something else.
Oh, mine doesn't lay it out as a quotation.
Okay, well mine is, okay, this was a quotation. I read that wrong. I apologize to anyone who heard that.
You fucked up.
I
man.
fucked up. I don't want to do this wrong. I want to be honest in how I'm interpreting this.
Yeah.
And the Lord said by his servants, the prophets, because Manasseh, king of Judah, has committed these abominations and has done things more evil than all that the Amorites did, who were before him, and has made Judah also to sin with his idols. Therefore, thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, Behold!
Behold.
Behold.
I am bringing upon Jerusalem and Judah such disaster.
Okay, so he's going to bring on them the ability to predict the future and talk to wizards? Because that's what he's done so far.
Well, what's going to happen is that it's going to be the exile.
Oh, fuck.
Yep.
But he just said he wouldn't do that.
No, he was referencing a time when he said he wouldn't do that. Okay, anyways. That the ears of everyone who hears of it will tingle. And I will stretch over Jerusalem the measuring line of Samaria and the plumb line of the house of Ahab, and I will wipe Jerusalem as one wipes a dish, wiping it and turning it upside down. So I guess this is how they were drying things after they washed them. That's what it sounds like.
I
guess.
Because it would collect
Yeah.
pool water.
And I will forsake the remnant of my heritage and give them into the hand of their enemies, and they shall become a prey and have a spoil to all their enemies, because they have done what is evil in my sight and have provoked me to anger since the day their fathers came out of Egypt, even to this day. Also, this sounds very exilic.
Yes.
Yeah. Moreover, Manasseh shed very much innocent blood till he had filled Jerusalem from one end to another. Besides the sin that he made Judah to sin, so that they did what was evil in the sight of the Lord. Now the rest of the acts of Manasseh, and all that he did and the sin that he committed, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah?
Thank you, Ellis.
For the $4.99, thank you. And let's read that. So I assume you're going to give away gold to the patrons on the wheel after you make it from lead. You know what? Why not? If it works, if we make gold, patrons are going to get some gold.
Yep.
Some alchemied gold.
If we don't make gold, and
Well,
we
then
make
you don't
something
get gold.
else.
If we make something else, yeah.
You get
It depends on what we
radioactive
make.
thorium.
Yeah. It really does depend.
You get uranium.
Hooray!
Whoopee.
Or Laurentium. That's a thing.
The Laurentium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it
we
is
could
rubidium? Yeah, rubidium.
Rubidium and Laurentium.
Okay, these are some good shirts.
Yeah.
Let's.
We could have like a table, like just a generic table, and then like rubidium next to Laurentium.
RU is rubidium, and you could be like, are you an atheist? Ooh, that's bad.
That is
Wow.
pretty bad.
What? Okay.
Why
Anyways.
don't you finish reading this chapter?
Yes, I will. And Manasseh slept with his fathers and was buried in the garden of his house, in the garden of Uzzah, and Amon his son reigned in his place. Amon was 22 years old when he began to reign. He reigned 2 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was, oh, holy shit here, Meshulameth, the daughter of Haruz of Jotbah, and he did what was evil in the sight of the Lord,
Oh, you
Doing
fucked
that.
up.
as Manasseh his father had done.
No.
So no longer is it about Jeroboam.
No.
It's about Manasseh now.
Well, Manasseh, I mean, he fucked around with wizards.
He
so-
did a lot of crazy shit
I mean, you
in a
don't-
very short amount of time.
So short, we barely
So-
mention it.
I'd like to point out that they're continuing to affirm that wizards have magical powers.
Yes.
Well, I just happened to be in Brady Street yesterday.
Uh-oh. Okay.
And
this is going to be a
I've discovered
crazy story.
that, well, it's not much of a story, but I've discovered that there is a business in a brick and mortar location called Psychic Visions of Milwaukee.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. We should visit there.
Yeah, let's do
We
that.
should visit it.
Well, let's continue the chapter, though. He walked in all the way in which his father walked, and served the idols that his father served, and worshipped them. He abandoned the Lord, the God of his fathers, and he did not walk in the way of the Lord. And the servants of Ammon conspired against him,
Ooh.
and put the king to death in his house. But the people of the land struck down all those who had conspired against King Ammon, and the people of the land made Josiah his son king in his place. And Josiah is probably the most important king we will hear about.
Wow.
Definitely. Ever.
Even more important than Solomon?
Yeah.
Even more important than David?
Probably on the same. He was pretty much a new David. That's what he was supposed to be.
Also,
Oh.
he has tens of thousands.
Well.
Does he have hundreds of thousands?
Oh my! Maybe he has millions.
Whew, shit.
We'll get to all that. But he was a very important central figure in the development of the Bible.
Now, David, he had his tens of thousands, but
Yeah.
Joseph Stalin, did he not have his millions?
I guess Yeah, I guess he did. And yes,
Not
Rachel,
winning.
even more important than Hezekiah.
Oof.
Now the rest of the acts of Ammon that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah?
Whoa.
Drink. Everyone fucking drink. And he was buried in his tomb in the garden of Uzzah, and Josiah his son reigned in his place.
I can't believe that Assyrian king took over Eden.
Yeah, right. What an ass.
How did he beat the cherub with
fucking-
the flaming sword?
Yeah, how did he do that? That's impressive.
I told you, the sword's just chilling. It didn't even fight him.
So that is the end of chapter 21 and the end of the chapters today. Next week we're going to be going over King Josiah and the Babylonian exile. Very excited about that.
And then, ladies and gentlemen,
We have the worst thing to ever be written.
we have literally the worst thing to ever be written.
Yeah, we have
The opening
First
of
Chronicles.
Man,
this is gonna
it's just
suck.
page after page
Of genealogy.
Genealogy.
Yeah, it's gonna suck that day. So we don't blame you if you don't stick around for that episode.
It's well,
It's pretty long. You
let me
might
give
want
you-
to tune in.
an example of what we're gonna be running into.
no.
And Ahio, Shashak, and Jeremoth, and Zebediah, and Arad, and Adar, and Michael, and Ispa, and Joha, the sons of Beriah, and Jebediah, and Zebediah, and Meshlomah, and Hezekiah, and Heber, Ishmeri also, and Jezliah, and Jobab, the sons of Elpaal, and Jachim, and Zachary, and Zabdi, and Elini, and Zelathi, and Eliel, and Adiah, and Bariah, and Shimrath, the sons of Shimri, and Ishpan, and Heber,
Whoa,
and
whoa! Spoilers.
Oh yeah, we're
Guys,
not getting that
If you
far.
haven't caught up with it in the 2,000 years it's been out, major spoiler warning.
Yeah. Anyways, since that is the end of the chapter in the stories, everyone make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Share the episode around if you liked it. And
We will see you.
well, no.
We have a final score
Oh,
of 8 beholds
8 behold.
and 3 was it not written.
All right, fantastic. Good
Woo.
old scoreboards.
So if you were drinking along with this, you probably
We're okay.
could survive. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
okay.
Should be all right.
If you have like a stomach condition, you might not be feeling well.
Or drinking.
Yeah.
We're drinking, yeah.
No, you have to drink. There's not.
There's not a choice. in
There's
this,
not
of
a
course.
choice
Yeah, you're
about
right.
it. And it has to be at least 40% alcohol by volume.
So before we head out, just a couple last things. If you like what we do, please consider becoming a patron. We have lots of cool rewards.
And if you don't like what we do, then please consider sharing our content with other people who you think would not like what we do so that they can talk about it and watch lots of it.
Also, all the links in the description. You can find our Facebook page there and our Twitter page.
In our Amazon wish
Our
list.
Amazon wish list. Also, Nightbot has been sharing all these things.
Good night.
If you want us to do a video on something, if you get us a book on it, we'll definitely be incorporating it. It's definitely gonna come up a lot in some upcoming videos that I have in mind, because there's a lot of great stuff that has been sent to us, and it's been fantastic. I've loved it. What else? Sherm Journal is coming out on May 1st, and if you're a follower, you know that we are partnered up with them. An actual historical peer-reviewed journal. It is free for everyone, by the way. Open access.
Open access.
So
As all peer-reviewed journals should be.
and it's really fantastic what they're doing, and the topics that are covered is pretty much exactly the topics that we cover here on the show and in our videos. It's pretty much exactly in that realm. So I recommend Sherm Journal. First issue is coming out May 1st, I think.
And we wouldn't be suggesting it to you if it were horse shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Just because they would pay us or something like that.
They're not paying us, but
they're not even paying us.
we're helping each other out.
So you know that it's good shit.
So all the links in the description for everything we do outside of this. But other than that, thank you everyone for joining us. And we will see you next
Sunday.
WrestleMania, baby.